Hi friends, it's Carolyn Zook here with Zook Stitch. Today is Saturday, April 4th, 2020, and welcome to my channel about cross stitch. I hope you're all doing well and making it through day by day. I know these are very strange times, so just try to take it one day at a time, 1 minute at a time if we have to. So let's kind of forget about the world for a few minutes and talk about cross stitch. So first up, we made it through March, which is great. March was not a very good stitching month for me at all. I only stitched about half the days. But let me just do really quick some March stats for you. Let me put on my reading glasses. So in March, I stitched a total of 27 hours and 45 minutes, so almost 28 hours, which I only started tracking in January, so really I only have 3 months of data. And that was by far my lowest month of stitching time. I stitched about 15 out of 31 days, so about only half the days. But in that time, I did happen to have 5 new starts. So at the beginning of March, Jan Hicks was waiting for orders so that her and her husband could move back to the mainland from Hawaii. And so she was doing a new start every day till those orders came in, and I joined her for a few days. She still hasn't gotten those orders, but that's another story that you can check out on her channel. So I started Spring Quaker by Rosewood Manor. I started The Bunny by Blackbird Designs, and I'll show you that in a minute. I started The Basket by Blackbird Designs. I started Scenic Farm, which you saw last week. That was my birthday start, which was not expected. That's a Dimension Skits, and I did show that in the last video. And I started Christmas Morning Goodies, which you'll see here in just a minute, and that's by the Frosted Pumpkin Stitchery. Can't remember. I'm so sorry. So I had 5 new starts, 0 finishes. So that was my March. Really quick, really easy, and yet very long at the same time. I did get new eyes in March, though. So I had my surgery, my last surgery, and I recovered from that. And then we were all adjusting to this new world that we're living in. So it was a lot that happened, just not so much stitching, but that's fine. I'm really excited because I feel like this past week I've had a really great stitching week and I have a lot to share with you. So let's just get right into it. First up, Cross Stitch Nation. This is in my Garon toten bags. It's the kitties. And then the inside is the paw prints. And they attach these tags to every bag that they sell, and I do fill them out so that I know what's in there. And so this one I restarted in January for the 3rd time, but it's going well now. So I think 3rd time really is the charm. Knock on wood. Knock on wood. And for this one, I'm doing I worked on it quite a bit in January, and now I'm going to do a 4-hour rotation each month, which is typically takes me about 2 evenings to get 4 full hours in, or a little bit more. So typically I'll work on it for 2 evenings, and if it's a little more than 4 hours, who cares, right? So I did my March rotation at the very end of March, and then this, which has been this week. So this week is kind of weird because we had, I think the 31st of March was on Wednesday, so we kind of had half and half of the week was in each month. So I was able to get March's 4-hour rotation done as well as April's 4-hour rotation done all in this past week. So for the March rotation, I did almost 5 hours, and for the April rotation, which I did just last night, I did a little over 4, almost 4.5 hours. So here's how it's looking so far. So for March, let's see if I can. For March, I finished her up. I did the word cross, and I did some more of this border. And then for April, I finished her, and I did more of this border. So there's only 2 more figures left. So I can, in one rotation, I can usually get a figure done and some of the wording and the borders. Now there's also a border on the bottom. Here, I can show you. I think I even pulled it out to show you what it will look like. It's by Heartstring Samplery. It'll look like this. So I am right here, and I have the word cross done. So I just have these 2 to go. the word Stitch Nation, which shouldn't take too long, the rest of this border, and then I have this whole bottom border to do. So I think I'll be able to get it done. I mean, when I get even closer to a finish, I'll probably just work on it till it's finished. But I'm expecting to get this done maybe by June or July, maybe. So you can see I don't have any of the bottom border done yet. And this is on a 32 count Silvery Moon Lugana. I really like this fabric a lot. The Silvery Moon, you can see it's just kind of like a really light, not really blue, but it does have some blue tones in it. It's just a really easy fabric to work on, and I really like it. So that's Cross Stitch Nation. I feel really good about that progress. It's really fun to see the people kind of come to life, and you can make. I'm using mostly called fours, just because I don't have the brain energy to make alterations. Except I am changing some of the skin tones, but the dresses and all that are all the called for colors. Next up, I did find my temperature tree. I think last week I said that I had lost it. I had put it in my work bag to take to the eye doctor because I thought I might pull it out and ask them what size readers do I need. But I ended up not doing that. But, I never put this in my work bag. So I looked all over the house, and then all of a sudden I looked at my work bag and I found it. So it's in this Garan bag, and this is the inside fabric. And let me tighten this up so you can see it a little better. This way. This is my progress. So I know it's hard to see because the trunk goes down here a little bit. This is the March branch. So I was able to get that done. So I have a few days left of March to fill in yet until March is done. Because I only work on this on Sunday, so I worked on it last Sunday, and then we have that last few days of March. And then I'm going to go up here, and I have to stitch the April branch, and then the first few days of April. But you can see how it's going so far. This is really fun as well. It's working really well for me to work on Sundays. This is on 32 count light blue Lugana by Picture This Plus. Yeah, that's about true to color. And this needle minder is from Top Notch Stitchery on Top Notch Stitcher on Etsy. So that's the temperature tree. I'm really glad I found it because I was worried because I've been doing some cleaning out of my closets. And I sent off a big bag of stuff to Thread Up, which is an online thrift shop. And I was worried when I couldn't find this because I don't lose things really. And this is not the easiest thing to lose. It's not like a little tiny pair of scissors or something. I was worried that somehow it got in that bag that I sent off. So I was really, really relieved when I found it. Okay, up next. This is another one that I did my March rotation and April rotation back to back. So this is my Farewell to Anger by Hade. And it's in this llama bag. This is I have a few 12 by 18 inch Garan bags. This is the llamas, which just makes me so happy. And then the inside is this beautiful green pattern. Mostly, I forgot to tell you, these size is what I use mostly. These are 12 by 13 inch. They hold an 11 by 11 Q-snap really nicely. And really, I don't like having too much extra space. In here, I have 11 by 17 inch Q-snap. And this holds it really well. This one in particular is a little tight, but that's because it's a Hade and it has a lot of extra fabric. It fits, but it's just a little tighter than normal. And so this is what it will look like. Farewell to Anger. And I've started in this upper corner right up here. And I am using Pattern Keeper, which is the app. I got a Kindle Fire for Christmas that I wanted just specifically so I could use Pattern Keeper because I mostly have Apple products. And Pattern Keeper, they don't have an Apple version yet. But I'm really loving, not that I have anything to compare it to. This is my first Hade Heaven and Earth Designs full coverage that I'm doing. So here is where I'm at. So I did, covering up my notes here. I did about 3.5 hours in March. So my goal is 4 hours. But it took me 3.5 hours to finish this diagonal. So I just quit. Like that was close enough. That was my March rotation. So in March, I finished that diagonal. I wasn't going to start the new diagonal. I just thought that was good enough for me. And then the April diagonal, I did all this. Now, I have learned some things about myself. So somewhere in this diagonal, I've messed up pretty big time. I'm off by a stitch, and so things weren't lining up appropriately. I don't know where, and you can tell that I went out. You can tell that little blip, so that probably might be partly where I screwed up, because I went over into the next diagonal, not intentionally. So I thought I was staying within this previous diagonal. So there's a mess up in there somewhere. I couldn't figure it out where, and because if you look, the top is somewhat abstract. This whole piece is somewhat abstract, but especially up in this area, I'm hoping it won't be noticeable. That's what I'm hoping. I won't really be able to tell till I'm further along. There's cat hair all over this. So I'm going to keep going, and if I have to fix it later, I will, but I'm hoping that it won't be too noticeable. What I've learned for me, Pattern Keeper is wonderful because it allows you to just kind of focus on the diagonal if you want to stitch that way on the diagonal. For me, I've learned that I have to, because I'm not very good at counting, I have to stay within, so I do 10 rows along the diagonal, and I have to really stay within that 10 rows. I can't cheat at all and go over to the next diagonal or start stitching down and around here because I get off a count. That's what I tried doing in the previous, and I just got off count. And yes, it is somewhat slower because some of these rows, especially in this next diagonal, there were 10 different colors of floss in one row of 10 stitches. So it does get, it's a lot, and it goes slower. And then there's also a little bit of chunks of color. But for me, it just keeps me on track if I stay within that 10 diagonal row. Now, I believe on Pattern Keeper, you can say that you want your diagonals to be 20 stitches wide instead of 10, which I might actually switch to after I complete this row. And that might help it go a little bit faster. My goal for this year on this project was to finish one page. Now, using Pattern Keeper, what it does is you don't necessarily have the 8.5 by 11 pages. It puts the whole pattern together for you, which is great, so you can see kind of where you're at. But I know that one page of a Haid is about 8,000 stitches because it's 100 stitches by 80. Yeah, that's right. So I currently, when I put this away for the April rotation, I had 2,111 stitches. So I'm about a quarter of the way to what my yearly goal is on this. I don't know how people do. Some people do 10,000, 20,000 stitches in a month. Clearly I'm not there yet. But I am liking this. It is hard for me because you say, I just need to stay in this row and I know that that's what's best for me. And I do park. I'll park it down here, but I won't actually do the stitch. So it is hard because it's just like, oh, it's just one stitch. I can just complete it right away. But if you get off and that stitch is completed and then the floss is already cut, then it just makes it harder. So I'm trying really, really hard to just force myself to stay within that row. It does take a little bit longer, but for me, I don't trust my counting enough. Oh, and this is just a 25 count white Lugana is all I'm stitching it on. So I do have a quarter of the first page is done. So I was happy about that. When I finished up that previous row, I was feeling a little disheartened because I knew I was off. I couldn't figure out where I was off. I'm like, oh, this is going to mess up the whole thing. Should I just start over? But when I started the fresh new row, and that's the nice thing about this, is when I started the fresh new diagonal, I was like, okay, I can do this. I'm back on track. I'm keeping track of everything. So that feels really good now. So I had fun. So I did, like I said, 3.5 hours in March, which finished up that diagonal. My goal is a 4-hour rotation. And then in April, I did about 4.5 hours for the April rotation. So both Farewell to Anger and Cross Stitch Nation will go away now until May. And then next up that I worked on, and I just worked on this a little bit just for half an hour because I think it was in between. It was after I was working on the Haid and I was kind of frustrated and I just need something small and simple to work on. So I pulled out Christmas Morning Goodies, which this is a black and white copy by the Frosted Pumpkin Stitchery. So it's not a very good copy, but it's like a little ornament. This is from the Just Cross Stitch Christmas Ornament magazine from 2018. For Year of Whips, we have monthly themes, and the theme for March was a magazine stitch, so something out of a magazine. So this is where I've gotten so far. So I have the border completely done, it all lined up, so I'm super excited about that. And then I've started on this bow, and then I started on the little doll that's going to be sticking out of there. I just worked on this for a half hour this week just because I needed something a little bit easier to work on. And this is on a 28 count Crystal Pansy Lugana. You can see the glitter. It's really fun to stitch on. And I could see it okay for the most part. There's a couple places where the glitter gets in the way of the holes and I can't really see it very well, but for the most part, it's very good. And it's in this stitching bag that I got for my birthday from a friend who doesn't even stitch. And she thought I needed a bag to carry my stitching in. So I thought that was great. This is by Fancy Boy Designs on Etsy. So, and it fits perfectly. This is probably a 8x8, I'm guessing, Q-snap, and it fits just absolutely perfectly in here. You can zip it up. It has a cute zipper pull, and it has this handy carrying loop that can come off. It's very nice. I love it. So that was my Christmas morning goodies. So that was my progress for this week. I'm really, really happy with that, especially after such a low output month of March. So I was really excited. I'm really excited about my progress on Cross Stitch Nation. I'm excited that the new diagonal on Farewell to Anger is going really well. And I do think if I expand the diagonals to be 20 stitches wide instead of 10, which should be, I think it's just a feature you can click, a setting you click on Pattern Keeper, then that might help it feel a little less like I really want to eke into the next diagonal to just complete that one last stitch. So I'll try that for the next diagonal and let you know how it goes. So haul is next. Now, if you guys are anything like me, with being quarantined, I've been shopping a lot. I think it's partly a depression response, an isolation response, and also a response to, oh, let me help out the stitching shops. Or maybe that's just my excuse, because it sounds like a lot of us are doing it. But so I want to share with you what I've gotten. I don't have a ton of needle minders. I never have, and I've been wanting to kind of increase my collection. I mean, most of the ones I have are Christmas ones, because of course I have a lot of Christmas, but I wanted some new ones. So I ordered a bunch of needle minders, and I'll share those with you. This first one I want to share with you is, I'm going to put it, and I'll show you this stitch in a minute. But this is for my Blackbird Designs Easter Parade. This is by the Fairy Watcher, F-A-E-R-Y, and I'll link it below on Etsy. And it is a double-sided needle minder. Let's see if I can show you. And it's a little bunny on one side with a little flower in their hair. And then the other side is a little bunny with a crown of flowers. Isn't that sweet? I thought that was so sweet. And because it's double-sided, you can use it like this. What I might do is I have some magnets upstairs. I might just use it as two separate ones and just have a magnet on the back. Just a plain magnet, and then I have two separate ones. So that was really great. And they're pretty lightweight, so they're good for those who like the lightweight needle minders. So that's from the Fairy Watcher. And they are in the US. And then I placed a big old order from, nope, wrong sheet. From, again, on Etsy, from Kim's Creative Needle Minders. So let me show you the ones I could not refuse. And I'll link these below. So I ordered this kitten in a cup that says love with the glasses. I just thought was adorable. This was a freebie she sent with a daisy, which daisies are my favorite. And then this sweet spring kitty with her hat on, ready to go in the garden. I thought that was so cute. So I got those. I don't necessarily have a project in mind for these, but I thought they were really cute. And then I couldn't resist these two more bunnies. I thought they were very sweet. Peter Rabbit, which was one of my favorites growing up. And these were all nicely packaged as well. And these are really, really lightweight, so they're good for stitching. Now these next two I'm going to show you are heavier, but you can see why. Look at that, with all the jewels. The umbrella I thought was perfect for spring, and that gorgeous hat is great for spring or summer. But they are, I mean, they're heavy, right? They're heavier. So if you don't like the heavy ones, stay away from the ones with all the jewels on it, if you can stay away. I just think they're gorgeous. And then the last two I got, these again are a bit lighter. This one I got for Scenic Farm, the Scenic Farm that I showed last week. And this one I just thought was really sweet kitty. So those are the needle minders. So I've really increased my needle minder collection, which I'm really excited about. And then I ordered some stuff. I think some of this was a Nashville market release. I'm not exactly sure. This is from Luminous Fiber Arts. I can't remember who I saw showed this, but I saw it on Flosstube and I needed to get it. Maybe it was the Kitten Stitcher. I'm not sure, but this is Luminous Fiber Arts on Etsy. I'm pretty sure this is a Nashville market release. I don't know that they say necessarily on here. No. But Robin's Discovery, I think that is just so sweet. And I realize we're about a week out from Easter, but I think it's so sweet. And then they sell the floss packs. So I got the floss pack as well. I don't have the fabric, but so I got the floss pack. Aren't those colors gorgeous? And I just think that's such a sweet little piece. And then I was looking around on their website because you can't just get one pattern. And I saw this one, which I thought, this is called a Cardinal's Carol, which I thought would make a really sweet little ornament or pillow like they have here. I did not get the floss pack or anything for that. And then I found another winter one, which I just couldn't leave behind. It's the Snow Many Friends, and look how cute that is. I love the fabric. I love the little houses kind of up on the hill with the little smoke coming out. There's a little kitty cat. There's a squirrel and some cardinals. I just think this one is so sweet. And I love that light post as well. And they also have a floss pack, which I got. And again, I didn't get the fabric, but I would probably do it on something like this, like a dark blue fabric. Snow Many Friends, Luminous Fiber Arts. I'll link this below. And then they sent a free skein of Weeks Dye Works floss. This is in Turkish red. It's very, very pretty. So I can add that to my collection. So that's all I have right now. I'm expecting more stuff to come in. I placed a big market order with my LNS, which is Acorns and Threads. I always leave their contact information in the box below. Even if you don't live in Portland, that's perfectly fine. They will ship anywhere. They ship to me quite frequently. Actually, I think they have shipped to me more than I've actually been in the store, just because where they're located. And I mentioned before, I don't have a car because Portland has really great public transportation. But it's a little bit hard to get to the specific shop without a car. So it takes about an hour, even though they're in town, if you use public transit. So they will ship things anywhere. So if you don't have a current LNS and you're looking for one, they're wonderful, very helpful, very friendly. They'll help you out over the phone. So I leave their contact information. You can call them and talk to them, or you can send them an email from their webpage and fill out your order, and they are still, you can't go into the shop right now, but they are still fulfilling orders and shipping them out. So if you are looking for LNS, Acorns and Threads is a great one. So that was my haul. So now let's talk about April plans. So I have my monthly calendar here. And let's talk about April. So I got, as I mentioned before, I got my Farewell to Anger rotation done. My Cross Stitch Nation rotation are done for April. So now I'm going to be working on, hold on, I have to sneeze. Excuse me. I don't know if I'm going to leave that in or not. I'm going to work on the bunny from Blackbird Designs. It's allergies. It's fine. It's not, it's allergy season. My allergies are really bad right now, even though I take a daily medication, which means they would be much worse without it. Anyway, so the bunny from Blackbird Designs. So it's in this Garon tote bags that I got last year. I love this bag. I think it's so sweet. And the inside is just this really, it's like a really light green, I think, very light green. And it just has a little bit of a pattern. But there's Easter bunnies. I think that's really sweet. So this is the pattern, Easter Parade by Blackbird Designs. I saw Stephanie from Just Keep Stitching. I saw her recent finish. And I just saw Priscilla finished it. I just saw that today, that she also finished it. So I'm working on this one now. I also plan to do this one. I think they're a really cute pair. And I just started this in early March, just as a quick start. Let me show you where. Oh, this is the start on the basket. It's a very tiny start. You can't even tell. It's just some of the flowers. But for this month, my focus is not going to be on the basket, but on the bunny. And this is the same fabric for both of them. This is a 28 count Lugana. It says it's an ivory. It has more of a peach tone to me. And this is just barely got started on the, is that the right way? Yeah, on the border. So I'm planning on working on this for a good solid week. This is another, for Year of Whips, the theme for this month is anything with spring. So I thought this is perfect. So I plan, oh, and then the floss, I'm using all called for flosses. This is the floss for the basket, for the Easter basket. Very pretty, very spring. And then these are the colors for the bunny. Again, all called for. So I plan on working on that starting tonight through next Friday. Get a good solid week in there. And then after that, I am going to work on Harbor Haven. My big goal for April is to get Harbor Haven number 6 done, which was actually my goal for March. That did not happen, not even close. Let's see if I can find here's number 6. This is what it will look like. There are 12 parts altogether. My goal for this year is to get this one done. So this is where I'm at. Number 6 starts right here. So I just have part of the tree, not even all the way finished. It's another kitty needle minder. And this is on a 32 count vintage smoky white linen, Belfast linen. It is one of my favorites. I love the smoky vintage white. It's got a little bit of movement, but it's a pretty plain neutral. And I just really love how it works. And it's fun to stitch on. There aren't very many slubs in it or anything like that. So, and then after Harbor Haven for a week, I'll do a 4-hour rotation on Christmas morning goodies, see how far I get on that. And then I'm not sure what. Then we'll have a week and a half left of the month, including a 24 hours of cross-stitch marathon, which I plan on doing again this month. But I'm going to try, not all in 24 hours in a row. I can't do that. But I'm going to break it up over 3 days, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday at the end of April. And so we'll see where I'm at and what needs to get done. I'm sure I'll still be working on Harbor Haven number 6 at that point. Maybe if I'm close to a finish on Christmas morning goodies, maybe I'll do that. So we'll just see where we're at for then. Now, I'm really behind on comments, and I'm so sorry. March was just a really, really crazy month, so I am very behind on comments. I want to get caught up. It's not that I don't care about what you say or anything like that. So I'm going to start going through. I might not be able to reply to everybody, so you might just see me like or heart the comments to let you know that I have read it. So thank you for your understanding on that. And again, I apologize, and I'll try to be better moving forward. And then giveaways. So I haven't mailed any out yet. I'm hoping to go to the P.O. box maybe Monday or Tuesday to mail out. I'm also out of mailers, and I ordered some more off of Amazon. And of course, they're prioritizing essential items right now. So some things are getting delayed. And they said that the mailers I ordered wouldn't be here until April 21st, which is more than a delay than I expect. Usually things are about a week to get from Amazon right now if they're not essential items. But this, for whatever reason, said 3 weeks. I'm hoping it'll be here sooner. But so if you can just hang tight, if you've won a recent over the past few weeks, if you've won a giveaway, I will try to get out what I can when I can. But I'm also out of mailers. And then I was going to pull giveaways for today, and the generator wasn't working well for me. It was kept saying that I have comments disabled on that particular video when I was trying to use the random comment picker. And I don't. I saw a lot of comments on there. So I wasn't able to pull any winners for this week. So I'm from last week's video. So I'm sorry. I will figure something out. I will try to fix that, or just go through and do it manually and just assign numbers and all of that. And then use the random number generator. So I'm not sure what's going on, but I will either upload a separate video with the winners. So if you see another video from me this week, I'm not going to call it giveaway winners or anything like that, because I really don't want spammers and all that. But if you see a video from me this week, you will know that it's the giveaway winners. So that'll be our kind of secret code. And if you don't see one from me, then we'll just do it in next Saturday's video. I'm really liking doing weekly videos because I feel like I have a lot to share with you right now. So no giveaways for today, but we will be drawing from the comments, hopefully as soon as I can get this problem figured out. So that's all I have for you today. I hope you're all doing well and staying safe and staying sane, and that you're healthy and that your loved ones are healthy as well. And we'll get through this together, just one day at a time. All right. So I will see you next Saturday, if not before. Bye.